Okay, so welcome to the first video of this episode about flight planning. So the first thing you see right now is I'm on the website 1800wxbrief. This is the website that most people use to get their weather information when they go make a flight. So let's go ahead and log in and see how it works. All right, so what we need to do is we'll go to plan and brief. And so we'll try to fill this out as much as we can. So first of all, we need an aircraft ID. So let's just use the aircraft I fly, 12180. Flight rules: as a private pilot, you have to fly VFR. Usually you're going to be flying general education. So if your aircraft type is not noted, you can always come here and look it up. Aircraft equipment, so you just have to know your aircraft, what it has. So for my aircraft that I fly, I have VOR, I have LPV, I have DME, and I have Global Navigation Satellite System, so I'll go ahead and copy that in. We'll be leaving Reed Hillview, and let's just set a time for a hypothetical example. Let's say we're going to leave at 2230 Zulu. With a predicted cruising speed, let's say 120 knots. So how it works is you have to press knots 0120. So altitude, let's just say, so this altitude is written in hundreds of feet, so let's just say 5,500 feet. And surveillance equipment, we have mode ANC transponder, and we have ADS-B out. And let's pick a destination, let's say, let's go to Paso Robles. And since we're not going to actually be doing a direct route, I'm actually going to go ahead and plot a route as for an example. All right, so let's fly out towards the lakes, cut across to the Salinas VOR. We can follow the Highway 101 down to King City, so let's just do that. Since we want to stay clear of the MOA, let's use another VOR point, Sardo, and then we'll proceed direct. And as you can see on here, Sky Vector has plotted the magnetic courses for us that we'll be flying, which we'll take into account that in the later episodes. So I'm going to copy that route. And let's say an estimated time route, let's just put in 2 hours, so it gives us a good weather window. Down here, ask for alternates. These are optional. So let's just put down, let's say if we can't go to Paso Robles, let's say we'll put San Luis Obispo in. There we go. Fuel endurance, let's assume our Cessna has full fuel, so we'll say 5 hours of fuel. Just one person today on board. Once you got all of that filled out, press route brief. And since this is our first briefing, we'll use standard briefing and go ahead, hit web brief, sorry. Alright, so here we have the weather briefing we're going to go through. And as we go through it, I'm going to talk about some of the items and which items I recommend that you write down. So here's the overview. This is just to make sure you enter the correct route in, which looks about right, so I'll keep moving. No adverse conditions or close unsafe NOTAMs. And then we notice there's an air met for IFR here, which is saying ceilings below 1,000 feet and visibility below 3 statute miles. Well, the weather today is actually this bad, so if we actually did see this, we most likely not fly. But for flight planning purposes, we're going to assume that's not there for the later episode, so we can actually calculate time and route and all that. So here it tells us when this was issued and when it's valid till. It's telling us we'll see IFR conditions from February 26th at 22:30 Z to 23:34 Z. And then there's another one talking about mountain obscuration, and here's the time that it's active. So these are some items that are worth writing down as it could impact your decision making for the flight. And here's another one, AirMed for icing. Freezing level surface is 6,000. And then there's a second update over here. This chart over here shows the freezing levels. If you see a zigzag line, it means that the freezing level is on the surface. If you see one of these other lines, it tells you that the freezing level is at whatever altitude is stated in hundreds of feet. So it says over here, freezing level is 4,000. Down here, it's 8,000. Here's an air map for turbulence, low altitude turbulence. And it tells you what type it is. It's moderate turbulence below 15,000 feet, and here's the time it's valid through. So it's the 27th day at 0300 Zulu until 0900 Zulu. And there's high altitude turbulence, which is from flight level 100 to flight level 300. So this section, as a private pilot, you can ignore it because we usually don't go up to 18,000 feet. So there's no winds over 30 knots, no wind shear. And now we look at the surface analysis chart. And as we can see here, an occluded front is coming in right now, pushing this warm air up and out of the way, causing the mix of rain and snow over here. And now we're into the METAR section. And so for copying down METARs, you should definitely copy down your departure, copy your destination, and also write down some in between. So let's go through it. So we'll start at Reed Hillview. We can copy down that wind is 120 at 14 knots. We have 10 statute miles visibility. Few clouds at 2,500. Overcast 4,000. Temperature 10, dew point 5, altimeter 3003. So San Jose, we can use that as a reference too. It tends to have more accurate weather because actually, no, I'll take that back. So these are just two nearby airports you can compare it. You can see this one's saying really nasty winds, 15 knots, gust 21. So we're going to go ahead and ignore Moffett Field, Palo Alto, Livermore, all of these up to here because that's north of our route. So we can look at San Martin, which is en route, and we can copy this one down. 120 at 10. Ceiling is broken at 2,300. And overcast 3,200. Temperature 9, dew point 5. Altimeter 3006. And we can look at Watson. Some of them you'll have all write down. You can look at Watsonville. I'm like, okay, pretty much the same as San Martin. And towards the Hollister area, I see that the weather is slightly improving. You can see it's not marginal VFR, but it's VFR. But we still have the low ceilings. Since I don't see anything too significant, I'm just not going to write any of these down. I'm just going to read it, acknowledge it, and keep going. Now let's go down to past rolls. We see it's 230 at 1-1, 10 statute miles. Now it's scattered 4,200, overcast 5,000, temperature 1-1, dew point 4, altimeter 3008. And then now we have the weather at alternate, which we should write down as well. Wind is 220 at 6. 10 statute miles visibility. Broken at 4,500. Overcast 6,500. Sorry, 6,000. And we'll just copy down the rest. And then also we can take a look at the remarks as well. This one's saying that rain began 30 minutes past the hour, ended 40 minutes past the hour. So we know that 2100 was the hour, so it started at 2130, ended at 2140. And here we have pilot reports. And here's a legend we can use. So this one's reporting just light turbulence up here. Down here reports light icing. And also tells you the altitude where the aircraft reported it. So let's just take a look at one of them. Let's see. There's one over Pinoche VOR, says the 170 radio at 30 nautical miles, 11,000 feet. Cessna 425 reported a temperature of minus 9 degrees Celsius with light rime icing. So these, we should take a look at all of them because it's the most accurate weather that most weather sources cannot access. So this down here shows the cloud coverage forecasts. And as we can see for today, it's just overcast everywhere, low overcast IFR.